Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling, as you see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where the most embarrassing thing happened where I accidentally, because I have a double clicking issue with my mouse, I accidentally double clicked with my mouse and I think it started recording and immediately stopped recording, and I didn't realise until about 5 minutes in. So I've already recorded 5 minutes of today's Animal Crossing episode to no one. I was just basically talking about Uma Musume. I'm not going to regale it again because in retrospect it probably wasn't that interesting. But basically the next Champions Meet's happening, so that's why we don't get Isabel, but she'd say, good evening everyone. Right now it's 8:24 PM on Friday, October 3rd, 2025. But basically the next Champions Meet's coming up, yada yada yada. I did some test scrims and I basically found out, hey, my current team is just not working out, you know? It's not cutting it. My Silencers goes trolling and my Saiyan Sky wasn't strong enough. So I made a better Saiyan Sky. My Saiyan Sky now is pretty good. She did just lose a scrim, so I don't know what I'm saying. And then I made a Karen-chan who I pulled randomly. And my Karen-chan is just absolutely crazy build, mind you. She has 1200 speed, 1100 power. Yeah, she's got Victoria, Por Plancha, Redshift as well. Professor of Curvature, all these good stuff. Absolutely insane build. But yeah, I was just talking about basically, I was doing these scrims, which are things which basically I would say 98% of our population don't do in this game. But I'm doing it because I'm like, I don't know, I'm fully living for the optimization aspect of this game. It's engaging, if anything, and I'm kind of just seeing, you know, how good the characters I made are for the Champions Meet, which is the competition which will be happening towards the end of this month. It's exciting to watch it happen, but it's very much like the people who are doing this, who are doing these scrims, are people who are also like very try hard, like to a level of optimization which I'm going into. I was just talking to a friend about like the optimization and stuff of what's going on, like how the optimization works, how this stuff came about, and he was just like, interesting. Most of that, like, well, like, because I was first talking about it, and then he was like, well, that sounds all like a different language to me, I don't know what you're saying, and I was like, that is 100% fair. But now I'm at the stage where I'm just like, you know, and I explained like the beautiful rock paper scissors thing we have going on essentially in this Champions Meet of front runners versus blocking, blockishin versus, you know, pace, late or end runners. And right now I'm just doing a load of scrims essentially just to see how good my characters are. Can they beat other people's try hard characters? I would say I have like a 30%, 40% win rate, which is not bad considering the people I'm fighting against are like really, really good. They're like some of the strongest people. Obviously, because who else would be doing something like this except for people who are super tryharding at what's going on. So yeah, I'm doing some scrims right now. How's this one going? My Saiyan Sky's in seconds, and their Smart Falcon's in first, and I think they're going to get the angling for fishing. So unless my Narita Taishin or my Karen-chan has an absolutely monumentous breakthrough, it's crazy because when I actually do the Champions Meet, I feel so strong because everyone is all my characters are like really, really good compared to the average person. Oh my gosh, my Narita Taishin is absolutely cracked. What? That Smart Falcon was in first and she got the angling with Saiyan Sky proc, and then somehow my Narita Taishin from the end rope, you know, when everything lines up for her, she goes in, she gets a win. Absolutely incredible. Hold on, was this Smart Falcon a blocker? No, it has angling and scheming, yeah. Wow, okay. Sometimes they're like one, but this is why you do the scrims. You just see how strong your Umas are, and if they can hold it against basically the tailored group, the tailored pool of people who are extremely try hard at this game, you know, optimizing and actually doing test runs of our characters, then that probably means, yeah, you'll probably have I'm pretty confident I'll make it to the finals. Am I confident I'm going to win the finals? No, it kind of depends who I'm up against. If I'm up against anyone this strong, then I think, you know, 30% chance. But if I'm up against people who are just like, okay, then I honestly have a pretty good chance, I think, this time more than any. Despite the fact that last time I actually did win the finals, it was actually pretty close. This one is, I don't know, I'm feeling the most confident, which is anything dangerous, because there's an infamous incident, I can't remember which, there's a VTuber basically who like super try hard for their first champions meet, and then just got completely screwed over by RNG, and came in like last place. Which is the saddest thing. Is it Kyela? Blocked. Kyla. There you go. As a unluckiest Uma Musume player. Yeah, but it's interesting because I also get to see a lot of the same people who are also doing these scrimming runs just to sort of test their races, test their Umas, see if they're actually up to snuff. It's cool to see. Wow, this one's crazy. They're running Rice Shower. First Rice Shower I've seen. Most people are running Saiyan Sky, Smart Falcons. Pace Chasers are rare, but some El Condor passes, and mostly there's Vodkas and Grass Wonders in the late position. But yeah, my current Chan has yet to win, but to be fair, like, she hasn't been racing for that long. Like, I only just made her. But yeah, I think it's easy, if anything, from a statistical viewpoint. It's very easy to be like, oh, you know, my characters must be super weak or something. Like, look, I'm not at all hanging it with the people who are super strong over here. Well, I mean, that's because only the super strong, it's a selection bias, isn't it? Only the people who are super strong, who are super committed to this game, are the ones who are actually doing these test rooms, joining these custom lobbies, actually have already made the races that they're going to submit for the final champions meet. They're the only ones who are actually here in these lobbies, you know, so it's a bit of a sample bias, I suppose, if you look at this and be like, oh, you know, I must just be absolutely terrible at this game. No. There's just people here, like, you're in the crowd of all the tryhards. Once you get to the general populace again, you'll be like, whoa, I'm so good at this game. So it's, you know, difficult sometimes to remember that. This one, unfortunately, someone else is saying Sky's in the lead. So I think they've got this in the bag. But I'm basically seeing Kamai Karan-chan kind of compete. I don't know, my Karan-chan feels like she has such good skills, but just not quite enough. This saying Sky's almost certainly got it in the bag. She's so far ahead. That's like 7 lamps, sorry. I think my Karan-chan came second though, so if that was a blocker-shin, Karan-chan's got it. Which is exactly what she's here for. She's here to sort of swoop in and get the victory if there's a blocking character. Well, my Saiyan Sky is meant to be here to actually try and win. Like, my Saiyan Sky could be stronger, I guess. It's hard for her to be much stronger because, and I'm not willing to put in more effort to make her even stronger because it's mind-numbing, I would say, to actually try and build a good front runner because of groundwork. Like, she could have so much more speed, to be fair. She's got about 1,100 at the moment, which is like, it's not quite enough to be comfortable. Like, ideally I'd have her on 1,200, but at the same time, what can you do? But yeah, I think, you know, big fish, small pond, that sort of thing. It's a very common situation, but no one, you know, how often do you think about the inverse situation where you're actually a pretty big fish, but you're in the ocean, you know? Big fish, big ocean. It's something which, you know, is certainly can affect your sort of like morale, your mental judgment of yourself, where you just see people who are just, like, you yourself are very talented, very good, but if you live in a comparative act all your life, comparing yourself against people who are insanely better, what are you going to do? Like, you can't live your life in comparison. You have to understand your true absolute, you know, good value. Because when you find yourself in a crowd of people who are absolutely fantastic, amazing, like stand out, the best people ever, there's something very subconscious in the human mind which makes you go, oh yeah, this must be the norm. This is how good everyone is on a daily basis, which is just definitively not true. There are people out there which are much more reasonable, much more normal. Everyone here is doing the same thing. Everyone's doing a front runner than some other end runners. And by comparing yourself, you're doing yourself a disservice, right? Because you're being like, oh yes, this is what the standard is, while basically being completely unaware what average, what the expected amount is. And, you know, I'm not going to say I don't fall prey to that myself sometimes. Certainly been situations in the past where I've been like, oh, you know, I'm not, you know, as good as I thought I am or something, because, you know, I'm comparing myself against other good people. I think that's, I think it just tends to genuinely happen, you know, when you get good at something, right? When you get good at something, you, like, for example, if, like, an ELO system, if you're really good at chess or whatever, the ELO system is going to match you up against people who are also really good at chess, unless it feels like you're not making progress or something, because the people you're up against are, like, pretty darn good, right? But it's, inherently, it's not actually representative, because what's representative is the entire populace, and you gotta realize that if you're doing averagely against the people you're against, that means you are where you belong, which, you know, ELO term means that you're doing pretty darn well for yourself, probably. What's wrong with my Saints guy? Why is she never making it to the front? Oh, okay, wait, this time she didn't even proc groundworks. She's rushed as well, come on. She's in 3rd place? What's going on? So yeah. I don't know what's going on. All my characters are getting rushed now. Yeah, I was doing a lot of races earlier, to be fair. My Saints guy was absolutely crushing it. But now, I don't know. I guess the competition's gone even tougher now. Now my current Chan is in 4th. Come on, she can overtake my own Saiyans guy to proc a unique. Oh, okay, Narita Taishin, sure, Nemesis. Gives her a chance to actually... Okay, there you go. Look at Karen. You can't see what's happening, I'm just doing some test races, essentially, scrimming against other people, just seeing how good my characters are. My Saiyans guy is dead, what on earth? Oh my gosh, my current Chan might actually catch up to their Saiyans guy, who actually procced her out. It's going to be kind of close. I think I need like a home stretch haste or something to proc. I don't think she can make it now, but... Oh, it was close. That was like 1 length. That was really good, all things considered. There's 1.5 lengths for someone who wasn't a front runner. So all things considered, could have been pretty good. But yeah, when you surround yourself with people who are great, it kind of feels hard to shine yourself. And I'm sorry to talk about Uma Musume, but it reminds me of a description that someone had for one of the characters. Of TM Opera O, who is very, very sort of like self-centered, being like, I'm so great. But she's a very interesting sort of narcissistic character, where she's not like, I'm so great and you're so bad. She's like, I'm so great, you should be better to try and compete against me, so I will shine even brighter. Or someone, you basically use the metaphor as like, you know, the brightest light in a room full of broken lights is not that impressive, but the brightest light in a room of shining, or of lights which shine brightly, is impressive. And that's kind of like her entire mindset. So, I think it's easy for me to get discouraged while doing these room matches and being like, wow, I'm just absolutely terrible, how am I going to compete, you know, I'm never going to make it to the finals, when, yeah, I am literally playing against the creme de la crop right now, and I'm still winning some of these rounds here and there. It's basically simulating a very difficult final round, and, you know, I got to balance up with how much time I'm willing to invest into these sort of things in the first place, and I'm not willing to invest anymore than I already have, so, yeah. I'm pretty satisfied with what I got, as I should be. The cream of a crop, as they say. Creme de la creme. Which I like saying because it always makes me think of a My Little Pony song. Wait, hold on. Creme de la creme. Where's the accent on the creme? Creme de la creme. Okay, so downwards, a grave accent on the first E. But yeah, I really got to get a new... I should order a new mouse, because this one is... The double clicking thing is crazy right now. I really like this mouse. I can't believe it only lasted about 1.5 years or something. But yeah, the sort of big fish in a big pond It makes it very easy, I think, for you to lose track of, you know, how good you are relatively. Which is, you know, unfair to yourself. Whoa, debuffer. You gotta remind yourself how good you actually are. You gotta remind yourself and see of everything that's going on. Where you stand, you know? So, little jump cut there. Yeah. Versus, I don't know. I feel like in the past it's very easy to actually, well, hold on, I didn't realise it was a block-shin Smart Falcon. Sorry, in this race. It didn't actually manage to block. Sometimes that happens, sometimes your front runner just beats them. But yeah, it's difficult, I think, to live in a comparative world, in a sense. Understand your own worth. Don't compare yourself to, well, I mean, don't compare yourself in the first place, but even if you do end up comparing yourself, which is a very natural instinct to do, understand like how the comparative act works on the scale of things. If you're comparing yourself to the top 10% and you're in the bottom 10%, you're still top 10% in the world. That's pretty good. And that's sometimes hard to lose sight of, or easy to lose sight of, I should say. With how easy it is to just be like, oh, you know, I guess I'm just not good enough in a way. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to round this episode off here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.